The ballroom shimmered with crystal chandeliers and low classical music, the kind that made conversations sound more important than they were. Waiters in white gloves moved between round tables dressed in ivory linen. At the center of it all stood Adrian Cole, the youngest CEO in the company's history, known for his precision, his sharp suits, and his ability to make million-dollar decisions without blinking. He held a porcelain cup of black coffee in one hand, nodding as a board member spoke about expansion plans. His smile was polite, calculated. The gala was meant to celebrate the company's 10th anniversary, but for Adrian it was another obligation, another performance. Near the entrance, a woman hesitated before stepping inside. Maya Bennett hadn't planned on attending. She had almost thrown the invitation away. But the Scholarship Foundation hosting part of the evening had once helped her when she had nothing, and she felt she owed them her presence. She wore a simple navy dress, elegant but modest, and held her 6-year-old daughter's hand. Lily's eyes widened at the sparkling lights. "Mommy, it's like a castle." Maya smiled softly. "Just stay close to me, okay?" They moved carefully through the crowd, out of place among diamonds and tailored tuxedos. Lily clutched her small purse and scanned the room with curious intensity. Across the ballroom, Adrian laughed politely at a joke he didn't find funny. He lifted his coffee to his lips. And then Lily tugged her mother's hand free. "Lily," Maya whispered sharply, but the little girl was already walking forward, weaving between guests with surprising determination. She stopped directly in front of Adrian Cole. He looked down, mildly startled, expecting a request for an autograph or a picture. Instead, he saw a pair of large brown eyes studying him with recognition far beyond her years. "I know you, sir," Lily said clearly. The words were innocent, simple, but they landed like thunder. Adrian blinked. "I'm sorry." "I know you," she repeated. "You gave my mommy your jacket." The porcelain cup slipped from his fingers. It shattered against the marble floor, coffee splashing across polished shoes and designer hems. Conversations halted, heads turned. Across the room, Maya froze. Her heart stopped before her body did. Slowly, almost unwillingly, she turned. And their eyes met. Adrian hadn't seen her in 7 years, yet he recognized her instantly. Time had softened her features but not erased them. The same steady gaze, the same quiet strength. "Maya," he breathed. The room faded around them. Lily looked up at her mother, confused. "Mommy, you know him too." Maya stepped forward, her composure trembling beneath the weight of memories she had buried carefully and deeply. "Yes," she said quietly, "I do." 7 years earlier there had been no chandeliers, no tuxedos, no marble floors. There had been rain. Maya had been standing outside a downtown cafe, soaked to the bone, clutching a folder filled with job applications. She had been 22, pregnant, and recently abandoned by a man who had promised forever. Adrian had not been a CEO then. He had been a driven, overworked financial analyst with ambition bigger than his bank account. He remembered the moment clearly. The rain had been relentless. She had been shivering, and he had stepped outside for air after a grueling meeting. "You'll catch pneumonia," he had said awkwardly, removing his jacket. "I'm fine," she had insisted, pride lacing her voice. "You're not," he replied gently. She had taken the jacket reluctantly. They had talked under the cafe awning while the storm raged. She told him she had an interview. He told her she deserved more than companies that made her wait in the rain. She had laughed at that. He never asked about the baby. She never offered. It was just 1 hour, one conversation. But it had stayed with him. A week later, he had returned to the cafe at the same time, hoping to see her again. She hadn't come. He had kept the memory of her like a pressed flower between pages of a life that quickly became crowded with success. Now she stood in front of him again, with a child who had his eyes. The realization hit him slowly, then all at once. "Maya," he said again, voice lower now, "is she?" Lily looked between them, curious but unafraid. Maya's fingers tightened around her purse strap. She had rehearsed this moment 1,000 times in her imagination, what she would say if she ever saw him again. None of those rehearsals prepared her for this. "Yes," she answered softly, "she is." The room had begun whispering. Board members exchanged glances. The CEO looked shaken, vulnerable, human. Adrian crouched slowly, bringing himself to Lily's height. "What's your name?" he asked gently. "Lily Bennett," she said proudly. His throat tightened. "Bennett. Not Cole." He looked up at Maya. There was no accusation in his eyes, only shock and something deeper, hurt perhaps, or regret. "Why didn't you tell me?" he asked quietly. Maya swallowed. "You were building your life. You made that clear that night. You said you couldn't afford distractions." He closed his eyes briefly. He remembered saying something like that, laughing about how relationships weren't in his 5-year plan. He hadn't known. "I wasn't a distraction," she continued, voice steady but fragile beneath. "And neither was she, but I didn't want to be something you resented." Lily shifted uncomfortably. "Mommy, are you mad?" Maya knelt and pulled her daughter close. "No, sweetheart, not mad." Adrian stood, his carefully constructed world tilting. 7 years, he murmured. "I missed 7 years." "You didn't know," Maya replied, "and I didn't want you to feel obligated." He looked at Lily again. She was studying him in the same way she had earlier, curious, thoughtful. "How did you know me?" he asked her. She smiled shyly. "Mommy keeps your jacket." Maya flushed. "It was warm," she said defensively. "And she cries sometimes when she holds it," Lily added with innocent honesty. A ripple moved through the onlookers. Adrian's composure cracked. "I tried to forget you," Maya admitted quietly. "But that night, you treated me like I mattered when I felt invisible." He stepped closer, lowering his voice so only she could hear. "You did matter." Silence hung heavy between them. The gala host approached cautiously. "Mr. Cole, should we cancel the speech?" Adrian said without looking away from Maya. "Or postpone it?" Gasps circled the room. "But sir—" "Postpone it," he repeated firmly. He turned back to Maya. "Can we talk somewhere quiet?" She hesitated. Trust was not easily rebuilt, but Lily looked up at her with hopeful eyes. "Okay," she whispered. They stepped onto a balcony overlooking the city skyline. The noise of the ballroom dulled behind glass doors. Cold night air brushed their faces. For a moment, neither spoke. "I searched for you," Adrian finally said. "Not seriously at first, just curiosity. But then more, I didn't know your last name." "I moved," Maya replied. "New apartment, new job, new everything." "And you did it alone." She nodded. He exhaled shakily. "I built an empire and thought I was winning. But standing there tonight, hearing her say she knew me, I realized I've been losing something I didn't even know was mine." Maya looked at him carefully. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying I want to know her, if you'll let me." Lily peeked between them. "Are you my dad?" The question cut straight through. Adrian crouched again, eyes shining. "If you'll have me," he said softly. She tilted her head. "Do dads read bedtime stories?" "Yes." "Do they come to school plays?" "Yes." "Do they make pancakes?" He smiled through emotion. "I can learn." Lily considered this carefully, then nodded once. "Okay." Maya's eyes filled. "It won't be easy," she said to Adrian. "You can't just appear for pictures and disappear when it's inconvenient." "I won't," he replied firmly. "I don't want a headline, I want a chance." She searched his face for the ambitious analyst she once met in the rain. He was still there, but older, humbler. "Why?" she asked. "Because when she said she knew me, I realized I don't know myself as well as I thought. I don't want to be a man who misses his own daughter growing up. The honesty in his voice left no room for doubt. Inside, applause erupted faintly. Someone else had taken the stage. Adrian extended his hand, not as a CEO, but as a man asking for something fragile. "Dinner," he said. "Tomorrow no press, no assistants, just us." Maya looked at Lily. Lily grinned. "Can we have pancakes?" Maya laughed softly, the sound trembling with relief and fear intertwined. "Dinner," she agreed. Adrian's shoulders relaxed for the first time that evening. As they walked back inside, whispers followed them. Cameras lifted cautiously, but Adrian ignored them all. He picked up Lily gently, and she didn't resist. The CEO, who commanded boardrooms now, carried a small girl who had changed his entire trajectory with one sentence. "I know you, sir." He realized she was right. She knew the version of him he had almost forgotten, the man who offered a jacket in the rain without calculating the return. And maybe, just maybe, he could become that man again. Maya walked beside them, uncertain but hopeful. The coffee stain remained on the marble floor, a dark reminder of the moment everything shifted. Some accidents ruin reputations. Others rewrite destinies. And as Adrian Cole stepped out of the gala early, daughter in his arms and the woman he once lost at his side, he understood that success was not measured in stock prices or applause. It was measured in the courage to catch what you almost dropped. This time he wouldn't let go.